what's up everyone, Kevin here. Today I'm up snowboarding on Mount Hood in Oregon, and in this video I want to share with you guys my thoughts on the K2 Excavator. So I picked up the Excavator about 8 months ago and been riding it ever since in powder, slush, all kinds of different mountain conditions. So I'll share with you my thoughts on how it rides, some of its strengths and weaknesses. I'll also share with you guys where this board lands in terms of rankings on my top 10 favorite freeride snowboards. So let's strap this board up. The first thing I noticed about the Excavator is the amount of taper it has. So the nose is quite a bit larger than the tail. And that larger nose and smaller tail really makes this snowboard float super well in powder. I've had a bunch of days riding in powder, and it takes all of the stress off of having to be on your back foot. You're almost riding like a centered stance on this snowboard because of the larger nose. So this thing floats super well in powder. It's always something I look for in a free ride board. The deep days I've been riding on this board, it just floats so effortlessly. So that's the first big standout. The other highlight about the Excavator is the camber towards the back with the rocker up front towards the nose. So having that camber in the back gives you a lot of stability when riding at high speeds. I've been cruising with this board, landing drops, coming through this slushy snow, and having the camber towards the tail really helps you have a lot more control and be able to ride with that much more aggression. Oh damn, there's been like a rock slide through here. Oh shoot, look at these rocks. The Excavator is also a fairly stiff freeride snowboard. So when you're riding at high speeds, going through any kind of uneven terrain, it really holds up. It feels like a board that's aggressive enough to really keep you on your feet. If you're running into any bumps, it's really gonna have your back and just allow you to ride more things out. The Excavator is pretty maneuverable. A lot of freeride snowboards, if they're too stiff and they have the big side cut radius, you can actually find it hard to make really quick maneuverable turns. But this board, it's got a slightly smaller side cut radius, I feel, so you can really get those like nimble, quick turns through things like trees or through like a natural half pipe or something. It maneuvers like super well. Another thing I really like about the Excavator is that even though it does have a larger nose and smaller tail, the tail is still big enough so that if you are coming in for like a drop off a pillow or off a cliff, you're gonna have that stability from the tail to help you land it. So there was a lot of times this season where I was dropping something, and having the smaller tail really helped me to land stuff and ride it out. All right, taking the Excavator into this first jump here. Feels super solid on the approach. Woo, landing. Like on landings, this thing feels like solid. When you put some pressure into the tail for ollies, it really responds. And then putting down the landing is like super solid. All right, coming in through the flow park. You. This thing generates a lot of speed. Very stable. Woohoo! Yeah, just like a solid ride. Hopping over some dirt. For slushy spring riding, this board does really well because of the wide surface area. Just keeps you on top of all that slush and plowing through it. Gonna take the Excavator into this little snake run here. And so this board is a 162 wide, but even though it's pretty wide, it's very maneuverable. So going through that snake run just felt really comfortable, easy to make those quick turns. So for me, the highlights of the Excavator is the stability it has when riding at high speeds, how effortless it floats in powder, and just the extra aggressiveness of the board that really helps you through in landing drops. And even though this board is pretty aggressive, it's still pretty maneuverable for those tight turns through trees, or if you're riding up the sidewall of a natural half pipe. So in terms of comparing the Excavator to some similar snowboards, I would say that it does kind of remind me of the Jones Ultra Mind Expander. Kind of has a similar shape. Also with the camber in the back with the rocker towards the nose. Another one is the Nidecker Beta APX, which also floats super well in powder. But in my opinion, this one is my favorite of the three. K2, they're just doing something really well with their boards. I may actually ride this for another season. I just love it so much. I feel like it's actually helped improve my free riding too. If you guys have any questions about the K2 Excavator, hit me up down in the comments. I'll also put a link to this board in the description if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching, have fun with the snowboarding, and I'll catch you in the next video.